to do some camera work.
Yeah, I know.
In my day.
In your day. And that's why you got 3,400 boxes of your game.
I don't know. That might have been more about what was
still
going
haven't
on
even
camera and on Amazon and on social everything.
You still
around
haven't
it.
even. Dude, we got like a whole blue background now.
Yeah, I could open it up, but
nah,
who cares?
Dude, who cares?
We'll go
this will be
blue
the first
vibes
one.
today.
It's surviving.
There you go. Look at you. You're famous.
Yep.
Shane Handler. The famous Mr. Handler.
Oh, please. Not yet.
Yeah, dude. No. So, Chris, just minus 10 minutes on. Now, you can look at those, dude. Those are for you.
Okay.
Those are for you, man. I'm saving your balls.
You're saving my balls.
Saving your
One pair
balls.
at a time.
Better
David's
for
been
balls.
talking about your balls all day long,
Look.
and it's only 9 a.m.
You know, I do appreciate that. Wow.
Dude, that's the
nads.
That's the sponsor,
He gave
man.
you fancy ones too. We
Yeah,
got some
this is-
different
this
ones.
isn't
He gave
normal
him
for the
the
guests?
fancy
Wow.
ones.
No, dude, those. He said large. I pull out large.
Yeah.
Like I got boxer briefs. I got boxers.
Shane, you told him I got large nads.
yeah,
I need
that's
some.
it.
I'm actually medium. I wasn't going to say that over email. Give me the XL.
You can grow into it.
Perfect.
There you go, man. No,
Dope. I appreciate
like, dude, the guy's a UConn grad. He's built out the company Ecom, doing great content. Give him a follow, nadsunder.com. Like, as we say, like, you're charging way too much money for your underwear, but it's like there's a whole movement around that organic. Have you been shooting any of those type things where it's like organic microplastics, get the healthy clothes shit?
Not shooting so much, but it's all over the space.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the consumer brands I work with aren't necessarily this, but that's where people are going. They want to be healthy. They want to have every single piece of what is going into their, product be something that they want to show to everyone and something that has to come through in the content for sure.
So welcome to the show, Shane Handler, Mr. Handler on Instagram.
Mr. Handler on Instagram.
What's the handle?
So my company's called Handled Entertainment.
Handled Entertainment.
Yeah, video production company.
So real quick, 30 seconds. What does your company really do?
So Handled Entertainment is in the business of creating content, shooting, editing, producing, all the above. So literally, if you see a video, we want to be behind every single thing that goes into that video. A lot of branded work, a lot of social, digital influencer marketing, a lot of food content here in New York City.
Yeah. Why aren't you making movies? Like, why aren't you the NYU film student across the street working in a coffee shop?
I've
Getting
thought
ready
about
for that
it.
huge indie film.
You don't like coffee?
It's not about that. I think people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. And there's not really a huge need for it, I think people still, it's a struggle to get people to go see the movies, even when it's a huge blockbuster hit that they've been pushing down your throat on advertising forever. So if I have a great idea that I'm like, okay, I think I can shoot this at a very reasonable price, then I'll do it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not
so you
opposed.
don't have a great idea that you can shoot?
Not something that I think is super relatable. Now, my mom wrote a book, and we're working on turning that into a movie. That's something I think would be super cool. Okay, I see that. I've read the book a bunch of times.
Is it pure fiction?
Yeah, it's
not a biography. It's
no,
not
no,
about
no,
a family
It's
member.
based on something that's close to her in her life, but it's not.
And so as a producer, you can move there. As a director of photography, you can go do those things.
100%. I think I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But again, if it's my mom's thing, I wouldn't necessarily want to step on any toes. I'd want to do what I think would best benefit the.
are you afraid
the
of your
film.
mom? Little.
Listen, no, I
I'm
love my
afraid of-
mom, but
I'm afraid of my
she's
mom.
worked on this book for so long, and the adaptation of it, I don't want to be.
Yeah, you're not
it
writing
don't
the
want to be my
script. Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's
You're
it's
not
her
writing the-
thing, and I just want to help. So in terms of a movie, that's the only thing that really got me excited. Of like, yeah, I think I would love to help you with this, and I'm happy to put things on hold that I have going on to do it. So we're working on that, but
That would be cool.
100%.
Yeah, no. So as we start to evolve this show, one of the things we're trying to do now is really look at people in similar spaces across the creatorship platform and say, all right, Shane is at X point in his career. Then we'll probably have maybe Gibby, who's like just shooting, like literally third year of college or something. We just put him on his first shoot.
Right.
And so it happened. And then we'll bring in like, full producer, 25-year career and start to look at that spectrum and look at how they view their business differently. Because I think the kid has no clue whatsoever but you've been grinding.
Mhm.
What is the grind like for you on a day to day? Imagine you're standing in front of a group of college kids and like, this is what this is like. This is what owning a company like this does.
For sure. When you go into video production, especially production in general, there's many different ways to look at it. But if you are not going to go grind your butt off, you're going to be just a day player for a lot of these people. So I'll take yesterday, for example. I'm working on Christie's. They're doing all these live auctions. It's more of a crew job. So, it's 40 plus crew there, a lot of downtime. I'll take that time and I'll edit a bunch of other projects. I'm sitting next to a producer who's a freelance person who's like, oh my God, you edit too? Let me get your card. Let me get your information. Bam, like that, while everyone else is sitting around doing kind of nothing. So it's like people can do that, but if I want to get to the next step, I need to constantly be, okay, let me do this and then do this and then do this.
Sound familiar?
just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm about 4 or 5 years in.
Yeah.
It's a grind. I mean, and some days are a lot of fun and some days are not. But
and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong in your case, but I've found that the best producer is not the technically best producer. It's the one who's available and gets the job done.
100%. And sadly for me, a lot of the producing roles have gone away because if you're not producing while you're shooting and editing and doing all these other things and on the calls and really talking through creative, they don't want to be a part of your help anyway. They're like, they don't really want someone who's just going to hold the camera. They want someone who's going to have input and they want someone who's going to be making it better constantly. And there's a lot of people who are going to just view a job they get as I'm going to hold, I hold the camera. Here's my day rate. Keep it moving. And that's fine. That's a lot of people in the production space. But if you want to build a company around it, you need to constantly be getting inflow from all types of,
Yeah. Do you want to have a company or a life?
A company or a life. Or also some people just want to be the artist. Not everyone wants to have this big company that's constantly doing a million things. They want to have the projects that they focus on and be more of a artist while still owning an LLC production.
So
company.
for everyone else, it's 9 a.m. and you're fucking ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's you. That's who
For
you
sure.
are. 9 a.m. That's what you need to be to own a company.
Well, earlier than 9 a.m., but.
Right, agreed.
Yeah.
But like by now.
100.
This is not the first activity I've done today either, right? And like, I think students fail to recognize. We had this conversation with in the classroom maybe 2 weeks ago before I went off to Saudi. How many pieces of content could you make and put out for your brand in a week? And like a couple of kids were like, oh, we should do one a day. I'm like, there's 5 of you on the team. Like, homie, like
That's at least 5 cameras.
Yeah, that's five phones. Like,
of course.
Like you're trying to break through and build a brand from zero. You're going to do one piece of content a day as a team?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, if let's say you're a brand that's already established and you have this vision and you want your one post a day to be this perfectly thing, sure. But if you're just starting, it's so much about throwing things out there. Even if it's the same video, you should have everyone editing it 5 separate ways. So then everyone looks at the end of the day and says, oh, this one cooked me the best. That one had the best ending. And then bam, then you can make one piece of great content.
Thanksgiving homework. You just caused Thanksgiving homework for our
Sorry.
students. Yeah. There's no reason. Take your best video and just roll it out in 5 different ways.
Because again, that's like a mini focus group that you can then see, and then it's very visually apparent okay, that one's going to do best in the beginning. That one has this piece that's better. And how'd you get your audio quality so good? Like those things will immediately make the content better. And everyone's got to do a little bit of work though.
What do you think the biggest, like, do you pay a normal New York City rent at this point from your production?
What do you mean? But like,
is your production company self-sustaining such that you can live your life?
It's my absolute number one source of income.
Okay. And so then from there, what do you think you have to do to take it to the next level for you? Because like, there's that place, right? I'm trying to get to self-sustaining. I'm at self-sustaining and I'm in the fucking wheel grind, which I have a sense from some of our conversations before, you're somewhere in there trying to break through.
100%.
And so like, and then there's like, now I have a company and I'm running a company. What do you think those big obstacles are to get there?
I have to get out of my own way a little bit. I still love the actual shooting and editing process. So if I'm going to be on set 8 hours a day, which again right now I'm at a shoot a day. I don't have much time for all the pitches, all the other things. So then I have to take the weekends and really button everything up. But if I really want to grow to the next level, I need to be constantly getting more clients. I don't have a great inbound on like social in terms of like I don't have direct ads that are targeting specific people. And I know production companies that are doing that okay. No one who's doing that super well. There's a lot of things on TikTok Shop that are working that I'm seeing brands take on and outsource it just to, for percentage wise of sales. That's something that I want to explore more. It's
We
pretty
can
much,
explore that.
Yeah.
Shit, we got roast me.
I mean, there are brands
I'll
that
give you a challenge.
Yeah.
I'll give you a challenge I couldn't crack.
Yeah,
and
you crack
get a
it.
Let's
better
try.
shot
Let's
than I
try.
did.
You crack it. We're full in on that. No,
So it's really, and again, like when I'm on pitch calls, everyone needs video content right now. So it's really, I have to identify really who I need to go after and who are the people that can spend the money and who really focus on it. It's like, this is not just something that we're going to throw a little bit of money on so we have a presence, something that we're passionate about that we need to grow and we need your help. Like,
So how do you figure that out? One of the questions I want to ask you is what work is not worth your time anymore, and I think it ties into that.
well, as a growing company, all work is worth my time.
I disagree with that.
No, but
disagree.
but I have some young people who are just graduating
There
who
you
are
go.
like, I need my first editing job.
There you go.
And then I have someone coming to me saying, I need this done. No big rush, but I need it
Worldwide
done
We Need
cheap.
Tour.
Same.
I need
Yep.
it done
Something-
cheap.
something like
That was
that.
how we met.
Yeah, so I have someone
we had a-
editing that for him,
Right.
and again, it's very like I would never want to say no, but I'll be honest. Listen, what I'm going to charge is not going to be worth my time, but
Right.
I will help. Underhandle Entertainment will edit this video for you.
Yeah,
and then
and
send it
then-
to a bunch of kids who are like hungry, who I know are hungry for work. Put it together, and it's easy.
And then they owe you.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's one of the pieces that we've been talking about, Chris and I, when Chris sat in season 1, was like, we don't understand why people can't understand the pay it forward concept. Not in a way that, like, I'm not going to pay you, because that's just bullshit.
I'll
right?
never do that.
Like,
yeah.
But like, hey, there's like, Shane's going to call me at some point and be like, yo, David, I need this. And I'm going to have zero ability to be like, no. Or he's never gonna set me up with a kid again, right? Like, and so that value component, what we've built out of the Worth Institute is a pretty strong network of those type of relationships, Chris being a part of it. And I just like we can't, like, how many people die on $500?
Especially in the video business.
You're gonna build a business, and you got someone that can drive $25,000, $30,000 projects to you in the future, and you're gonna say no because you're $500 short on this one.
Right. No. It's all negotiation stuff. It's all, but yeah, you can't be saying no. But in terms of paying it forward, that type of stuff, like even these days, I have a hard time bringing PAs on set for like $150, $200. And I'm like, listen, this is how I learned the business. I want to have PAs come on
They're
my
doing
set.
you a favor, dude.
They're
Doing you a favor because
but also
if you
the problem
pay
with
them whatever they're gonna get there, and you're gonna be like,
of
these
course,
people are
and it's just something
useless.
that you should be doing if that's how you kind of came up through the ropes. And I find brands are like, oh, we're going to have 3 of our junior people on set anyway. They'll carry your stuff, and I'm like, it's a little bit more than carrying the stuff. It's like,
another set
if
of
I want to
eyes,
continue to
certain-
have this growing network of people, I need people coming up. I need to be bringing them on gigs,
Yeah,
and eventually we'll come back as we all know.
Yeah, because that's what you're selling, right? Is people's artistic vision, people's creative components, but there's people at the center of it, and there's time component that you can't take out.
100%.
So it must be difficult to start to value your creative value.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make you this video. It's going to cost me X, but it's worth Y.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people will look at the post analytics, and that's how they will determine their value, which could be good or bad.
Yeah.
And it's not usually tied to the creative value that went into the piece.
You get 10 million views, nobody's calling you
No-
up to pay you more.
Yeah, but then of course, but the next time you shoot a video for them, they're expecting 10 million views. They're not expecting. It's like, okay, well, this is a different
They
project, we
better
have
be
different
expecting
talent.
a 10x increase on that invoice
100%.
too.
It's like instead of, oh, we did a great job, like pat on the back. It's like, no, well, let's do another one when we expect the same result.
What's your favorite brand you've worked with so far?
My favorite brand. I work with Shake Shack a lot, and they are very good. I love working with them. They do a bunch of cool projects. They have decent budgets. They're, and they listen to what I have to say, and they come buttoned up though. They come with a call sheet, shot list, all this stuff. So creatively, it's easily spelled out. But then I can also put my 2 cents on it.
What's more important in that? Hitting an appropriate budget that makes you happy, or getting that creative say in the project?
Honestly,
for you personally,
you're much happier to do whatever when you feel like you're being paid your worth.
Okay.
I love having a creative say in everything, but no, I'd rather be paid my worth and have a long day like something I did yesterday.
So that's a business I can invest in.
That's 2 votes for that.
Yeah, no, like, right? I mean, how many times do you sit down with someone and they're like, "Wow, it's like
100%."
and either way, art in the Louvre here."
The video production business might look glamorous on Instagram. It's not. No matter what you're doing, you're running around, you're carrying gear, you're doing, you're doing yes to talent and saying yes, of
you're
course,
apologizing for being
for
this
anything,
Yeah. No, man. But I have this run in with kids all the time. Is like they can't get that like on time is better than like perfect. And then, they struggle. I'd rather do this artistic thing than this formulaic make my money because I'm good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something when you're good at something, you got to mind that. I mean,
absolutely.
It's like, so where do you think after going through Shake Shack that like, I think the button up piece helps too, right? It helps you move all those other components into it. But like, how do you feel about Guy Fieri?
His content or like his restaurants? Like,
Yeah. Because I think his content is the fucking best.
and he's been doing, I mean, it's, even from the TV show stuff to now, it's.
Why can't he make a good restaurant? Like, come on. Is it just the money's too easy?
I think it's just he's maybe slapping his name on it at this point, and there's just so much going on.
But like, here it is. I'm going to give him a free concept because his content's that fucking good, right?
Okay.
Put the 20 best things that he's had out in the world on the menu and replicate them.
Yeah.
Instead of copying TGI Fridays.
Yeah, and trying to make the viral trash can nachos.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's a very good idea.
Right? Like he's the man.
Yeah.
He's brought this food content to I ask it because and I know you do a lot of food content. He's brought food content to a next level.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's pre-Guy Fieri and there's post. There really is. Because like all of a sudden it became any crazy motherfucker could show up with a camera and start to do these restaurants.
Uh-huh.
And he brought a light to a whole set of restaurants that didn't get light before. What's the future now that you're seeing it of food content? Like, what do you think if you're getting pitched something and someone's saying to you, Shane, I'm a food influencer. I got 1 million people. I need to look for the next 2 million. I need to look at how do we turn this into $1 million company? How do you start to guide them towards that future?
I mean, it's tough, I will say, but you want to be able to be attractive to brands. If you're creating food content, again, I can't be all brand stuff, but that's where a lot of the money is. You can be in all these creator funds, and you can be doing a lot of good viral stuff. It's still hard to make that a full-time living. If you're able to be everywhere, that's a good start. But like I don't, in terms of building a food business, if I could tell you the answer to that, I would do it myself, because I think it takes more than just being a personable person in front of a camera to do it. But it was like, imagine Guy Fieri was the first one to do it. Now look at this guy Keith Lee, who was everywhere on this food stuff, and he would just show up to restaurants, exactly what you said, as a crazy person. And now that his business is one of the only ones I know that's multi-million coming in like crazy.
Do you know Olivia Tide?
That sounds familiar. Yeah,
she's really good too.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's the only one.
She's cooking.
Okay, yeah.
And then
yes, I do know her.
So the cooking components, that's one angle.
Mm-hmm.
Going to restaurants is another angle, right?
Yeah.
We see Sister Snacking trying to bridge
100%.
the two. They've been on.
They're
here.
Great.
We had Vulgar Chef, who's just doing like.
Vulgar
Chef's my
favorite. You told me about it,
dude. That was one of the best episodes I've done, because he just like yeah, this is what I want to do, man. Like, and so, but I'm looking at the future of this and like, do you really need another person to go to a new restaurant launch I can't get into? You can get in. I see your Instagram. He gets in.
Well, a lot of times for when I'm filming those, it's a food influencer as a +1 that they hire me to film the content for them. But again, I'm sick of doing those. I don't think those are revolutionary. You know, I just did during the World Series. We went to the MLB and
which was cool,
and did everything with a food influencer, everything you can eat at the game, which was great. Right. Though that's just simply access and a time where that video was going to go viral. Listen, everyone was watching the World Series that night. We had to shoot it and then edit it that night. And it did millions and millions of views, which is great.
It was a good video.
But that's like, okay, if that's someone who's already established, they already have the access, and now that project to me is more holding a camera in reality,
really?
in a fun
environment.
Fun environment.
So you shot that yourself?
Yeah, shot that myself and went. Yeah, like those are the gigs I'll always be like, yeah. I'll do it.
I'll do the World Series.
Yeah, for sure. I don't mind. But yeah, they're not all like that.
So all right, let me rephrase that question in a way maybe. Like, what would be your dream food influencer like play here? Like the content that you shoot that could be revolutionary. They could be like, hey, this is his thing. This is where I think, because are you getting to the point where your people are respecting your opinion in those conversations?
For sure. Right. I think the food space is something I built myself into in a way, which has been great. And that only came about because I was doing food ASMR videos. I was like, like everyone's just going viral doing these food videos. Let me just try to do a few. Some of them did okay, didn't do that well. I did it for a few weeks. I should have done longer. But a producer at Shake Shack was like, hey, we need to do those exact videos for our brand. Come do it. So that was like a very natural start. And in terms of like who would be a dream, like even
what's a dream project? Yeah.
I would love to go behind the scenes with all these food influencers because like every time I'd work with a food influencer, I always am like, let me make a behind the scenes video of what we're actually doing, like how much you're actually eating, what you actually think this is, and I always get shut down. No one wants to do it.
No one wants to show?
No one wants to show because
they want the glamour shot?
They want the glamour shot, and people have their formula of what works. To do this shot first, do that shot, and then so to me it's like, okay, I get it. But it's more of like a formulaic type of video, and so that can be anything. But a lot of the food influencers fall into that category where it's like, this is what does well.
Repetitive.
Let's do it here and here and here, and then you start getting the early access to these places, and then it's a the snowball's rolling down the hill.
Yeah. And that's where I think like, so one of the things that we've talked about with some of the food influencers is it's like tough to just go eat food.
For sure.
Because they got to like, if they're not making a video, the restaurant's mad.
Yeah.
Their friends need them to pick the restaurant. They got to pick the food. They got to do this. They got to do that. They got to film the whole time.
For sure.
You never sit down and break bread like
a normal person.
Yeah.
I mean, as someone who films a lot of what they do all the time, I get that. But I also know a lot of food influencers who love to do it and will go do it for free most of the time.
Right.
For the one brand deal that they're going to get. So it's like they'll do a half-ass one here, throw it up, it'll do okay because they know every 10th one is going to be some brand's like, hey, do this for X.
So behind the scenes with a food influencer, anyone in the world you'd really love to do that with? Like just off the top of the head, there's
like Jack's Dining Room. He's huge.
Yeah.
Always eating these massive, and there's just not much behind the scenes going on that I would love to see. And also it all looks like it's an iPhone. It all looks very low key. But though that iPhone sees hundreds of millions, if not billions of views.
So that's I think this, you sit there, okay, it breaks down by city, it breaks down by region. It's even tough for someone from New York to go to LA and do restaurants because their audience is New York centric. And like, then you get to that national stage, but you could become a little celebrity. I do think there's an evolution coming in that content because like we've seen it all. Mm-hmm. When the vulgar chef is out there, right, eating candy corn cheeseburgers and shit like that, like nachos out of a toilet bowl, like, we kind of are at the point where there's another evolution of this, or it gets really, really stale. And
you're saying it gets better than nachos out of a
I know. I think from a conceptual point,
for sure.
I think like you're gonna have to reinvent the area.
Is consumers are still love a shock value, and they still love a whoa, what is that?
No, that's always gonna be a part of it.
Which is always gonna be a part of it for sure.
But
Yeah.
like like that was great. That was a brand deal, right? That was Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes paid him to do
Yeah.
a thing.
Genius.
Yeah, that was great. And like, but the evolution of that food blogging went to food content to what's next. And it's not going to be distributed on, So that's where I kind of look at it. And it's not like you can sit down and really eat. Like the Wings guy does it where you're able to have conversation and he eats because like you're only eating the wing and like then you have the whole dramatic reaction and the conversation. But nobody wants to watch people eat. Like it's kind of disturbing. So like where do we get to in that? And I don't have an answer, but I know I know the evolution's coming for the actual films. Like someone's going to come along and change this scene because it's so big.
100%. And it's just, I'm trying to think where are people going to go to find food information in the future. Right now, I feel like most people, it's just TikTok. You want to go to this restaurant, they just searched on TikTok and already it's curated the top ones for them. And but again, a lot of them are these food influencers we're talking about. I don't know. I wish I knew what the next phase was coming because I would jump all over it.
Yeah, we need to start digging into that. How do you sell it? How do you move it? Rolling the same influencers through your restaurant launch. Already, I see it on TikTok, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I know what's going on here.
Of course, and only some of them can be so honest about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, fried chicken. How many fried chicken restaurants do we need in New York? And I say this as a guy who could eat fried chicken every day, but
more so than hot dogs or what?
It's pretty close. Like first off, New York doesn't have very good hot dogs. If this was Chicago, I would have a different take probably. But yeah, no, I mean like what is it? Coco duck, Coco. Yeah, and then you got double chicken, and then you got 74 iterations of that launched all at the same time, and it's just one influencer girl after one influencer girl going to eat fried chicken.
For sure. I mean, the restaurant industry is hard as it is. But even like if you see like the corner store, this new place, they're crushing it.
I can't get in there.
We'll have to work on it.
Yeah.
But again, they don't do much social media at all. It's just, you can't sell cool. Like, it's like, and you find places like that, they try and do it with these food influencers and try, and that I think only lasts so long.
Yeah. Cause you're not on the top of the list anymore. And when the kid from Mississippi comes to town, you're not on the list.
They want the hottest thing right now, not what they could have gotten a year ago.
They start selling do you ever sell a reservation? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
We ended up with like 4 of them for Laser Wolf, and we had it because like we were trying to find the right time for my birthday, and then like we're like, what do we do with these reservations? We all went on and got it. We put them on the listing, and they sold like this.
Just like that.
And like we made more money than dinner. Serious.
We should get into that business too.
Well, the bots are in it. You know what I mean? On Resi, but like we just hit it on right time, right everything.
Right.
So yeah, I agree. I love the food industry. I love food. The food content just feels good no matter what. People like to see what you're eating. People like to talk about what they're eating. And there's money. There's always money in it.
And everybody eats.
But I just feel like we've gone from the Guy Fieri age where you had this on TV, Food Network, you had the blogs, and then Instagram and TikTok of it. But like,
what's next?
I want to know I want to know where I want to eat every week or something. Where's the place I got to go every single week? And I think you're right. Showing the behind the scenes, if you got the right content creator that really showed how hard they were working, what they were doing, how many different pieces of food come through, that would people would dial into that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it would just be while you're filming something, it's another way to get another whole look and another whole audience of just like, here's it goes back to our thing. We can either have one video at the end of the day or we can have
15,
multiple videos showing different things. But sometimes it's all about getting that one video for the brand and getting out of there. But
where do you level up? What's the next step? Is it getting more pitches out the door? Is it hiring another person?
For me, I think my next step is going to have to be to partner with someone who loves the space, doesn't necessarily love the physical production aspect of it. because that's really my passion, I guess. I love that, but I know it's not going to be enough. Like I want to be able to be, while I'm working on these video projects, building something bigger, so then I can look back and be like, yeah, like now I can either sell this, I can do whatever I want, because this is something that I've been putting into not just day playing roles. So for me, if I partner with someone, it has to be someone who's much more savvy on the business end, someone who's constantly bringing in projects, and I'm the end sinker of how we're going to get this done.
So I'm going to tell you that's a pretty good advertisement for hiring someone right there. So you'll be able to put that out.
I'll cut that up and put it out.
Yeah. So what is it? What would it take for them to be able to work with you personally?
I mean, the problem is I'm always like, when it gets too crazy, that's when I'm going to bring someone on. But again, and right now, I'm, even after this, I'm running to do another shoot. And I have a shoot tomorrow and Saturday, and like, so it's just like, but every time I take something on, I don't necessarily want to unload it because the margins are small. If I just work these 4 days out, I'll make good money. Right. If I hire someone to do all 4 shoots, I will make maybe as much as 1 day rate, and I better be using that time super wisely to be constantly pitching. So if I, and sadly, I think
you didn't answer the question. Though.
Okay.
The question is, what would it take for that person to work well with you? Because I think, like, again, this is handled.
Someone who doesn't come so much with a creative eye. Someone who's very analytical, who's very, money focused, and someone who's like.
What about personality wise? Because you're going to have to build a culture when you add a person. Now you're building a culture.
These are the reasons that scare me into going big. But
why scare you? You can handle this.
I can handle it.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it real with you. I love working with. Myself. and I love, if I brought someone on, it would have to be someone who understands my sense of humor, because I'm kind of like a weird guy.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Like, he's a battle rapper.
Is that right? See, we're gonna have to hear that too.
Dude, find out, bro.
Dude, dude, you want to go on updating? He'll pimp you out on updating.
All right, now we're talking.
We got beef with those guys.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No. Okay. But who?
No.
Personality wise, hardworking, and just not.
And understand the weirdness.
Understand the weirdness. Understand that. Listen, this is not rocket science. We're not. No one's gonna die at the end of this. We just got to get the deliverables. We got to get them done. And then we ought to always be having new business. Like someone who's just like, okay, if once we land the client, that's done for them. Like then it's me to make sure that they're super happy. Everything's done on time, but someone who's just really like next, and so I can,
they have to be as driven as you.
100%, 100%. Has to always,
have their
own ideas. If we're booked on the gig, we're not happy. We're finding more. We're handing out business cards. We're editing, doing whatever we can within reason.
Did I even send you the video of Momo?
You did. Yep.
Yeah, let's run it. So we have a student that's sent in a question.
Okay.
Hi Shane, big fan here.
Big fan.
Big fan.
So I was looking over your Instagram the other day because
as fans do.
I'm a big fan, and was curious to know, are you trying to become an influencer, or are you using your Instagram as a way to market your media company? Both fabulous.
I love the question. I use my Instagram. I mean, being an influencer has never been a goal of mine. I work with influencers all the time. I do try and grow my page to have a big presence. But I'm not doing little things that are going to be trending. And
you're
I'm
not maximizing your followers.
I'm not maximizing my followers to post things I don't want to post. I love having a channel that's my own that I can do whatever I want with, but do I wish it was bigger? Sure. And am I actively working on it? Not as much as I should. But
why do you want it to be bigger though? Like, what's the value of it?
The value of it.
By the way, he does too.
Yeah. I mean, and just frankly, I see a lot of influence. I think it's like a cheat code of life that happened in our lifetime.
Yeah.
I see friends of mine who I grew up with who are just running around never having to really work a full job. They'll hire me to do all the media stuff, all the videos behind it. And then it's kind of like, I'm like, wow, this is a pretty cool life. Again, a lot of people will burn out. I don't think it's as fruitful monetarily for a lot of people as some think. Mm-hmm. But anyone who can just be like, listen, it's an entrepreneur. I'm going to take on brand deals. I'm going to be content the content king. I'm going to be going and doing as many as I can until I can't anymore. I respect it. And I'm like, this is like something that I never saw anyone doing before. Let me just travel here and do video content for a month. Cool. Like if you can sustain that and you have things coming in and you're driven enough. I work with some content creators, influencers who are more driven than I am, constantly grinding.
The best ones are working.
Hustlers.
Yeah.
They're hustlers. So yeah, I see my page being big as I can attract new clients. Even now, sometimes I get a lot of requests for user-generated content. People will be like, "We need 10 people to do these videos. Help us," and I'll do a few of them, just because I know what brands want. I know how to hook, the hooks and stuff like that. Do I necessarily use that for my social? No, but I know the skill, and maybe I should. But I'm more interested in creating a business than I am being like an influencer. But could I do both? Sure.
Yeah. Where is the overlap?
100%.
Do you get nervous when you hit publish on your own page?
Yeah, depending on what it is. Only like, yeah, sometimes. But usually it's something that I'm very proud with. And if not, I'll just put it on my story and it'll be gone in 24 hours anyway. So yeah, I mean, I think Instagram has become this app that's like has to be too polished and all this stuff. So I guess I probably post less on my feed than I should, but when I want to, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because it's not a huge following.
No.
But I assume those are actual people.
Yeah.
So there's a difference, right? Like
100%. And people, and it's not hard to
see
see
some
through
of these
that.
Instagram followers,
Of
and you're
course.
like, oh yeah. Like,
especially working with brands, we have to usually send analytics the day after, 3 days after, 5 days after, who clicked through, who's buying, things like that. It's if you're faking it, you're not going to last.
do you
very
like
long.
the analytics side?
I do, in terms of like average watch time, drop off time, in terms of so I can make the video better. Where are people stopping to watch? That I think is super interesting. But then again, once you start diving into the analytics of video, you realize how little people are watching for how long. It's a view count these days is stop and go. It's quick.
TikTok is not a view count.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It's not, and like I try to tell people like YouTube is views because it actually has the reach number, right? And TikTok is reach.
For sure.
And you
It's
quickly
different.
see the 1 second, 2 second drop
Of
offs
course,
when people don't want it.
When you start going into and again, if you start to see those 1 or 2 second drop offs, that's honestly good. It's the first second of your video that you need to switch and do something different, and then try again.
Yeah. And so as someone that plays with that, right? Like when I get to 4 seconds, I'm like, fuck yeah. and then all of a sudden it goes back to 1 and I'm like, oh, because like most people have no idea what they're doing. Yeah. They're just posting shit, right? And I think when they start, like most of the kids that we deal with, they're just posting stuff, which is a good habit to build, but like changing the content over time, testing it. And like, that's, like, I'm not going to say we're good at it. I'm going to say we look at it and try to understand for other people. That's where we get.
If the goal is to try and get more views or more, you have to be looking at it. Other than that, you're throwing and then you're turning around. It's not really.
If you're going out to eat in New York tonight, where are you going?
If I'm going out to eat, am I by myself or am I by?
Nah, you gotta take some of the. You can take the crew.
I can take the crew. I mentioned the corner store. I've been going there. I'm a big fan.
It shows up on his story. Can't get in there. Can't get in there.
If I'm going to dinner tonight, let me get back to you on that. I'm thinking about it.
I stumped him on the easiest question in
Well,
the history of the world.
Honestly, if I'm going with a nice big crew, I like to go to Catch Steak.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
that's a long run. That's like not a, that's not a new place. I mean, you are going back to favorite.
I'm loyal.
They know
to it.
you.
They know me. They know me over there. I just think if you're going with a large group, it's perfect. Shareable stuff.
I prefer walking into a place and they know who I am.
100%.
My wife prefers walking into a place that we've never walked in and may never come back to. And for the life of me, I can't fathom
Yeah.
why you do that.
If I go to a restaurant, I want to kind of sit next to the person. I want to
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuffed at one of these tables where there's a bunch of people next to it. And so that you can go to the best restaurant, you don't know them, they're going to stick you somewhere. And then I'm like, we may as well been at somewhere that I've been before, but they treat us like we're.
I just don't think the food is that the degree of difference in quality of food at the high end of New York, LA, Miami, Vegas. I don't think the difference is all that much.
If you go into like the major
Yeah, we're going
markets,
to the places,
yeah.
right? And
For
like you go to the best places. So I want to go to the place where they treat me the best,
I couldn't agree more with that.
right? And that's what TikTok fails to capture. That's what I was talking about before. It fails to capture that they're going to treat you like family type thing. And that, like, when you go to Rayo's, like, you can't buy cool, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I've actually never been there, but because I ain't that
I'll
cool.
tell you, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like, it's every other red sauce Italian place with cool. Carbone can pretend, but it's not. It's not that. And
also, it's very hard to portray that in a video. That could be
right. And that might be it. It's like you can't. The guy comes and sits down at your table, and even if you don't own the table, somebody owns that table that night, and that person's known them for the last 8 years, so they're going to treat you like that person
for sure.
And they sit down and you order your food, and you can't. Yeah, you really can't. You
can say it, you can talk about it, but that feeling of being in is hard to come across.
Jimmy Fallon's right.
Yeah,
like
it's hard to come across in the video.
Because our friend who has the table, it's on the night that Fallon has a table, right?
That's great.
And so, like, you're almost guaranteed he's going to walk in the restaurant that night. And so it's like, these things.
We just did a shoot with Jimmy Fallon, actually, a couple weeks ago.
He hugged me once.
Oof, big for you.
He's tall.
Yeah, big.
Yeah, big dude.
Nice, tall, nice guy, though.
Yeah. Yeah. He gave me a hug. It was kind of weird. Yeah.
Just completely unsolicited. Just
No, totally solicited.
no, I asked for it.
Consensual hugs with Jimmy Fallon.
Absolutely not. Like, hey, can I have a hug?
Hey,
David's about to
mind?
me too, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, I think he hugged someone else, and I was like, "What about me?" And he was like, "You want to?" I said something, and he's like, "You want a hug too?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so,
love that.
no, I mean, the celebrity factor of what you do, is it impressive to you? Is it part of it? Is it just living in New York, growing up around here?
I think. When I first started, I was doing press stuff for the Huffington Post. We had every celebrity come, and we would just, and I thought it was the coolest thing. It was.
Yeah.
But as you're in it for a bit, no, you realize people are just people. A lot of times, if it's a big celebrity involved, people will try and get you down even on a lower rate. Oh, but you're working with X. It's like
double the rate.
Yeah, no, it's not. But a lot of times, you're not being going through the top talent directly. You're being booked by some other production company who's doing an ad, who then hired him.
Yeah.
So like oftentimes, I'm not getting called by Jimmy Fallon. It was Amazon Music who was doing a podcast, and he just came out with a Christmas album, so he's promoting it. So it was like, bam.
Yeah.
But no, the celebrity aspect, again, that's why I think on Instagram, people are like, oh, like what you do is so cool. Like it's, if you think being around cool people is cool, like I'm not friends with all these people. We're not having great conversations with all these people. But no, I think it adds something to why I'm interested into it. Like, when Jimmy Fallon walks in, you're still like, oh,
See, that's
cool.
honest. Like, that's honest. Like,
100%.
Like, for sure, right?
Yeah,
like, oh no, man, I'm here to do a job, and like this is like you just get used to it. You get used to the fact that people are known around you, but there's still those people that take you over the, like, oh yeah, I'm here today. Doing this.
100%. That you focus up a little bit, and But no, I don't take it as a major. There's some influencers I work with who I like more than like the time. I'm like, whoa, like because I see you on my phone all the time. I can't get you on,
Yeah.
But
I have that with some bands that like I listen to and go to their shows all the time, and like and then you realize, well, there's only 2,000 people in New York that do that, right? That's the extent of their popularity. But like for me, it's like as big as it can be. So yeah, no, I mean, I think it's. Thank you for having an honest conversation about what you're going 100%. Through and what you're doing. What do you think is success for you walking out of here? Like, you're going to be happy 12 months from now. I've achieved something. Like, I've moved, handled forward.
As long as every year I'm doing better than I did last year, that's like important to me. I'm like, if I'm not growing and
Are you
learning
measuring
stuff,
in dollars? Or are you measuring in quality?
that I'm measuring in dollars.
Quality?
Well, the problem is, like, even a lot of notes I'll get these days, we'll shoot an ad for Instagram, and on the brief they want it to look good, and then the notes coming back were like, it's too good, or like it should have been shot on a camera. I mean, it shouldn't have been shot on a camera. It should have been shot on a phone. So if I were to base it in just quality, I'd be very unhappy because the things I like shooting, people don't like consuming anymore. People like the relatable content. I like the really nice shots and cinematic quality is like important to me. So if I were to measure that success, I would say no. So like, if I'm making more money every year, but I'm doing less projects with bigger budgets, I'm happy. But like, part of what I love is like I'm not only doing food stuff. I'm running around doing like a million other things. So I'm still learning different. If I had to do just cheeseburgers every day,
you're not
I'd
doing
be sick of
cheeseburgers at Christie's.
No.
Right?
No. They're selling $100 million paintings.
Right.
Did
you buy any?
No, I don't have the pocket change like that. But.
Yeah, I'm in the $1,200 to $5,000 paintings.
Yeah, no, they had some big ones going last night. So, well, we have another one on Thursday. So
was it exciting?
The auction?
Yeah.
So for me, my role in that is live streaming. So we have to make sure that live stream is in every country. So no, it's pain.
Yeah.
But again, it's very well crewed out. We know what we're doing. So it's like, it all runs very smoothly, but there's always an inevitable, this person commented this on this, like, get this down. It's like things that just happen that are not necessarily, I'm not glued to the art. I'm glued to behind the scenes in the control room.
Recurring customers, measure that year to year. Recurring customers. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of them are not going to be recurring, so pull them out of the data set, but that's a piece to watch. Dollars, obviously, that's the big one. You're doing better dollars-wise, but I think you can define quality based upon the post, component, not the quality maybe of the production at the cinematic level, but the quality of what you're delivering to the customer, and that will come up in recurring customers, right? And I think watch the two of them together and they'll move. If you pay attention to both, they'll move together. Because like it's way easier to sell an existing client than it is a new client. And then you can also sell an existing client that this guy or this girl can handle this work under your
100%.
Brand. And that's one thing that I would say. Because if you're not looking for what you're trying to get to next year, you won't get there.
For sure.
You'll just be somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's it. So thank you for your time, man. I hope your balls are better after this. Yeah. Better for balls, dude.
We're gonna find
Microplastics done. Dude, this is a big company, by the way.
Yeah.
This whole component of e-commerce, that's how you. We're playing around with that with a lab. We're trying to build a lab. Yeah, we've been trying to hack out how to create these type of companies like this 1-1-1-1. And so now we're ready to come out of the university and come to New York with it and start bringing it to influencers with our preconceived concepts. And he's one of the advisors on it. Dan's good. All right, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate you.